Good morning, YouTube. This is Tammy Pie, and we got a new video. So, ladies and germs, I have survived. I've come out the other end, and I live. I breathe, sort of. There may be coughing, there may be sniffling. Well, there's always sniffling because I have allergies, but yes, the cods. The cods. All right. I am going to talk about hashtag Drop'em78. Today is actually day 3. This is a challenge that our friend Esther over at Mindful Tarot plays every year. And it starts on October 15th. You choose one deck to go steady with for the challenge. I mean, you don't have to. I think I've seen people do it like one deck a week because they just couldn't do one deck. But, or one deck every couple weeks. But yeah, anyway, the idea of the challenge is to become deeper and closer with one single deck. Okay? I've done it a couple of years. I've also done it kind of differently because I've done just 78 days of tarot with a couple of decks, which also works out. But this is actually kind of deeper because we have the 3 Ds. So the 3 Ds are, okay, let me get my cards out for the day. Or at least I'll get the card from my main deck. So this will be kind of previewing the end before I even start making the comparisons. But the card for today is the 3 of Pentacles. Okay, so the 3 Ds are, you define the 3 of Pentacles. So what do we know about the 3 of Pentacles? We know that it is a collaborative work, planning. It is moving forward with an earthy project, right? The second D of the 3 Ds is a detail. There are a couple kind of great details in here. However small, can be something obvious like the window. I was drawn to a couple of different things. I was drawn to the club here in the beginning. This is like a little 3-leaf clover shape. And also to this drawing that the little fellow is doing. And you can, also this blue in the window is really beautiful. Okay, so you just pick one detail. All right, so let's say I'm going to pick the clover shape in the corner. And that is interesting because it mirrors the 3, right? Does that make a difference in my readings? I don't know. We won't know unless I'm doing a reading. So the last D in the 3 Ds is discover. And what happens is you're going to use one card per day, and it's going to go in order. The order begins with the Ace of Pentacles. So on the 15th, we all collectively draw the Ace of Pentacles, and we do our 3 Ds. At the end of the day, I look back on this card and say, what happened today? that reminded me of the 3Ds. Well, for one thing, I haven't made a video in a while because I've been sick. So suddenly I'm starting to work again. Okay. Additionally, if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can choose what is called a calibration deck. My calibration deck this year is Nellie's deck, which has been really great. I choose a card every day randomly to go with the not random card. And calibration would be, for instance, if you are working with color on a computer. I don't know if this is still how it's done, but once upon a time, you would take your, say, your cerulean blue and make sure that the cerulean blue that you are looking at is the same as the cerulean blue in the, say, graphic illustrator program. Okay? So what you're doing is you're comparing to see if that helps you understand the color better or the card better. Now, I've been choosing the card at random. However, today I randomly chose the same card, the 3 of discs or the 3 of diamonds. In this deck, it is also the bouquet from Lenormand. So we have a project that is taking off, that is collaborative, or that it is coming to be, and that is a gift. Sometimes doing the work can be a gift. Okay? So when this challenge is coming up, and because it happens every year, you know it's coming up, so you're kind of planning for it. I intended to use Emily Carding's Tarot of the Sidhe. And the reason I wanted to use this is because I know a lot of people are very deeply attached to it. And that hasn't happened for me yet. So I wanted to spend time with each card and really get to know it and really feel it. Well, even though for months I've been planning on using this for the drop on 78, it pretty much fell off pretty quickly. So I also had, I thought maybe I would do this and use this to calibrate it. You know, I got the big book, so I wanted to do that. That changed. This is a really interesting deck, and I was kind of thinking, well, maybe I should just get to know this one. Maybe calibrate it with that one. But truthfully, I don't know this deck very well. And that one fell out pretty quick. I considered using the Lonely Dreamer. This third edition actually has the Drop 'em 78 journal entries that Esther did for this very deck in the guidebook, which is interesting. So if you have this third edition of The Lonely Dreamer, you kind of have a guide for the Drop 'em 78. Okay? thought about doing the angel deck. Maybe with a Marseille to calibrate. This is kind of a cheater Marseille because it's a Marseille with RWS. This is Keishobou. That would have been interesting. And this actually was the last one I decided against. And I thought this would be good too with Nellie, because similarly, we're dealing with playing cards without the pretty, and that would have been good with Nellie. Because it's such an opposing, it's similar, but also opposite. Because this is so kind of wrapped in this fancy playing card, medieval, gilded. And then this is so, I have nothing else. I live in a lighthouse and all I've got is a pen and a piece of paper and I made my own stuff. You know, very kind of that oppositeness makes for a nice calibration. But in the end, there's always next year, right? We could always take it up again. So here's me taking up this 78-day challenge, even though I am in the midst of getting ready to hit the road. I'm about to take off to Hawaii to do my son's ash scattering, which we put off for a year because the weather was really strange when we had the original funeral, and kind of dangerous. Actually, somebody was killed the next day at the very beach where we would have had the paddle out. So we were right, and I pushed it out even further to October because I was given that date. I asked Max, when's a good time? I think probably what I'll do is take Nellie with me and just the few cards that I'll need over the break. And that way I can do a daily pull with a calibration for the challenge. Four of Swords. Oh yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about the Four of Swords a little bit. Where is... I was doing my reading for the Deck and Walk 2023 hashtag. And the question came up, is he dead or is he asleep? Which is, I mean, that's a question you get asked, right? In the RWS, Four of Swords, which is our current decan, is the guy sleeping or dead? Now the Golden Dawn title for the Four of Swords is the Lord of Truths, I believe. Something like that. And if you look at Pamela Coleman Smith's illustrations, she was a storybook illustrator. So she is trying to illustrate a story in every one of these cards. Okay? This is just a tomb. So if we are to take a break from the wars, which every once in a while in those medieval wars, even till today, I think, they would say, okay, the two of us are going to take a break for a minute, clean up all the bodies, and rest, do prayers and rituals or whatever, because, you know, gods of war, whatnot. But also, it gave them a minute to kick back. And where would they be safe? Inside the church. Because the church is, what do they call it? The safe space. If the floor is the lava, the couch is a safe place. I don't know. Anyway, it's a tomb. We're the people resting out here. And we're sitting in the pews, lying in the pews, having Christmas dinner in the pews, whatever we need to do in between battles. It is the Lord of Truth. So, Deck and Walk 2023. Just a little taste of that. Okay. Video made. I'm still COVID-y, but you can't catch it by watching videos, right? So the other, I was watching videos this morning. Another deck that I considered briefly. This one is the indie one, but people are just showing up with the new mass market, which it looks like is all the same artwork with this border switched around a little bit. It's like gold colored. And here the majors are not numbered, which I'm sure aggravates some people, but for like Thoth readers, we like our justice at 11 and our strength at 8. So having the majors have no numbers is actually helpful. But this deck has changed very little. The cardstock on the indie one is going to be way better. I watched Simon unbox his, and he's not a cardstock snob, but as soon as he showed the cardstock, I realized, oh, thank goodness. I got this in a trade a year or 2 ago. Last year, maybe. And these are my fairies. I very much enjoy these. They're kind of Norse fairies. As opposed to these fairies. Kind of similar, but different. So let's see. That could be a story in itself, couldn't it? So one of my early challenges that I did on Instagram with Kelly at the Truth and Story and Patrick at the Living Wheel was, what did they call it? Tarot Perspective? And what they did was take two different tarot decks and compare the same card, I think. And it's interesting because you pick out different elements in the card. Look at the water. And Simon pointed out she's pouring something into this water. Makes you wonder, what exactly is she doing? Very interesting pairing. Surprised I don't see this paired up a lot. Maybe because they feel a lot different. These feel like air and water, and these feel very earthy, even though all the elements are present in both decks. Like she's making a wish, and he's coming to fulfill it. Anyway, still sick, but getting better. My smell, I don't know if you saw the Instagram post, the tragic tale of losing my smell. But my smell is kind of coming back a little bit. And thank God, because I was really freaked out about that. I'm so attached to my smelly stuff. Oh, wow. Look at this. Interesting, I know. But I'm getting better. Should be fine by the time I gotta get out of here, which is next week, Tuesday? Today is the 19th, Wednesday the 19th of October. And thank you for coming. Bye.